Question here from Dan. Several suburbs within the LGA of Hume have high R scores, single-digit 3-year capital growth, and reasonably good yields. Why are Ripehouse not buying in this location, and what needs to change for it to consider it? So I guess for those of you at home not familiar with, we'll just go LGA of Hume, are not familiar with Melbourne too much, or where the LGA of Hume is, so kind of more around that northwest part of Melbourne. And I guess to your question, Dan, so some of those higher R scoring suburbs are up here, that kind of Dallas, Meadow Heights kind of region. For those of you not knowing, got the best reputation in Melbourne around Broadmeadows, Dallas, Meadow Heights. It can be a bit of a low socio area, a lot of crime, a bit of public housing about. I guess to your question though, Dan, I'll pull up Dallas because that's something that you've asked me about before as well. There's a few things. So I guess in general, again, making some very general statements here, Dan. So from a buyer's agent advisory level, we follow the data, and then we come in there and there's a lot of manual due diligence that goes on through that data process as well. It's not just what's the R score saying. There's then, some risk mitigation that comes through, but then we're also kind of get filtered down by clients' financial or personal parameters, right? So if clients are looking to buy at a certain price point or a certain rental yield, that is going to essentially start eliminating properties for us. Now, the LGA of Hume in Dallas is a little bit higher yield. I think the median yield there is around about 4.5. Keeping in mind, we tend to buy in the better streets and at the higher median price of a suburb. So in line with that, if the median's about 4.5, we're probably going to only secure properties around about that early 4 mark, which for a lot of people, they're not interested in looking at properties kind of at 4% or low, or, at that 4% stage. Now, if I'm going to Hume, just really, really quickly, it's in these green fields. We've got to be careful of the train line running along here. So that's number one, really big train line on the edge of the suburb. There's another one going down this side of the suburb. And then we've got a really large commercial industrial area running through here. Then you've got some schools, which we don't want to be buying around around the front or the side of it. So there's a few little things there in Hume. The main one, I guess, to your question though, Dan, is it's not to say that it's not a buy for us. It's that it's just not really aligning with clients' briefs because of that yield requirement. It's also low socio for people that maybe are familiar with Melbourne. It's maybe not as palatable. I know you're in WA, Dan, so I'd probably say if I had to liken it to somewhere, maybe that kind of Gosnells region is somewhere to kind of liken it to. So that's just something to just be aware of there. But I hope that answered your question as well, Dan.